Do you like Piedsided? If the answer is yes, this is the perfect video for you. That's why probably you clicked on it because you saw the title and the thumbnail. But this is clutch number 24 from this year, and it's from a male extreme white Piedsided blood red het Hypo to a female high white Piedsided Hypo blood red Tessera. A lot of words, and if you are not too familiar maybe with genetics, Piedsided is connected to blood red, so every Piedsided is definitely a blood red as well. Every blood red is not per se a Piedsided, but Piedsided just means they have white on the side. Well, I'm doing like this, but like this is my side, of course. But I will show you them in the babies. And the low, medium, high or extreme white is just the amount of white they have. So if I later show you a video and I say it's low white, then it just means it has some white spots, but not too many. Medium is of course a little bit more, high is more, and extreme is even more, but in this clutch the babies at least are not extreme. So then also you have Hypo in the mix, so that makes the black a little less. It is, I do like it in Piedsided, but the contrast gets a little less because you get not a red and white snake, but an orange and yellow and white snake together. And Tessera is also in the mix, and that's just a zigzaggy pattern that goes like that. So hopefully that helps you a little bit to identify your own babies that I have Piedsided in the mix. But let's have a look at them. So, for myself, if you see this in the video, it's 24 female Pied low. So this means Piedsided, blood red, low white, but it's too much to write down. So Piedsided, low. So, roof. We go a little like this maybe. So this is a Piedsided blood red. Blood reds are known for their grey heads. Of course, a dark blood red color. If there are no other morphs involved. They are also known for a white belly. And the Piedsided part you can see on the sides. While also the head, it's definitely plays a role. But with one hand is difficult. I will show you the white on one with a little more white, because like I said, this is a low white. If it stays laying like this, ta-da! So here this is basically the same color mutation, so a nice dark red, but you can see like there and there and there, like all the white that basically creeps up from the belly up until the sides. Well, and I would call this medium to high maybe. But it's all yeah, a matter of how I call them and how the public likes it. I could call this low white and people would think, oh, but it has a lot of white. I could call this super extreme, mega extreme power white. And then everybody would say, Joshua, you're crazy, it's just a medium white. But yeah, you could call this medium to high, depending on how you would mark them yourself, basically. If I look at the amount of white and to give them a name, most of the white is in the neck area. So like here, for instance. So I decide to call them a certain amount of white for two reasons. How much white, how far does the white go up the side? So sometimes just like, where's my thick finger? Here, there's a little bit of blushing, but it's not really nice big white patches. But here, poof, you can see it really well, and it goes like all the way halfway up, or maybe even a little higher. So one of the characteristics is how high does it go up, and also how far towards the tail does it go. Sometimes if you have extreme whites, they also have a lot of white parts like towards the tail. This one doesn't really have it, but look, here's a big white splotch or patch or whatever, and that's like over halfway of the body. So this was, by the way, a male, medium to high. It's difficult. Female, mediums, and a female low. But yeah, so if I name them low, medium, or high, yeah, it's the two things. So how much white goes up the side of the body, and how much does it go towards the tail, basically. Here we have some Hypo blood reds. So Hypo makes the black a little less, so that's why they are a little bit more orange color. But yeah, the downside is it, like here you can definitely see the white there, but the contrast will be a little lower. So I do like them more color wise, but contrast wise a little less, but that's just Personal opinion, of course. So this is a male medium, female medium. Then we go to a female hypo that is medium to high even. Usually it's best to photograph or film them if they are laying still. But of course, there's some white. Of course, if I have to play with them a little bit, then but look, quite some white. Another thing, by the way, sometimes people ask me like, how do I make high whites? It's not really logical. Like I said, this the father, as you might have seen in the thumbnail, is like an extreme white. The mother is a high white, so you would guess, well, you would get high whites and extreme whites. But yeah, I get some low whites, medium whites, high whites, and no extremes. In general, you could say the more white the parents have, the more white the babies will get. And then some babies will be a little less white, like this one, and some will be maybe a little more white. But it is probably mostly selective breeding that is going on. So don't expect to buy 2 low whites like this for like a low price and get like super extreme high whites. That basically never happens. But out of 2 low whites, you can get medium whites. And if you go further with the medium whites, you can get high whites, a couple in a clutch. And if you go with high whites, then maybe you get an extreme white. So there's no real science behind it, but that's the most logical explanation. Also, in general, not always the case, but males usually have a little bit more white than females. So if you have a clutch with high whites, big chance most of them are males, but not always. But if you ever breed them yourself, definitely keep the females with the most white. Those are basically the most important. Where were we? These are Tesseras, so these have the strange pattern that I said, like zip, zip, zip. So we have 2 females low white. This is a female medium white. As you can see, it has a little bit more white already. And Bloodred makes the side pattern a little washed out anyway. And then with the Tessera, it does give a cool look. It looks pretty wild. Then we have some males. So, well, I labeled these medium to high. It sounds stupid that basically you should either decide for medium or high, but well, for a high, it doesn't have that much white. On the other hand, for medium, it has quite some white, like, yeah, all the way, past halfway of the body and stuff. So, well, call me crazy, but I called these medium to high white. That was male number 1 that you just saw. This is male number 2. Zoom out a bit. Also, the quality is not too bad if I am that far zoomed in. This one is male number 3. I actually put a, what you call it, exclamation mark. It's a difficult word for Dutch people. But because color-wise he's a little different. He's a little browner or something, but also has a lot of white, look. So yeah, I labeled this medium to high, but if you see this, you would say, yeah, it's a high white. But then, like, on this part of, like, this half of the body, it's not that white, so... And I rather sell them as medium whites, and people think they're high whites, than the other way around, so... let's see which ones we have here. We have 2 female pied Tesseras, also medium to high white. Don't bite and don't crawl away. Well, trust me. Ah, look, there you can see some white. That's female number 1 and female number 2. That's pretty dark from this angle. Here you can see the white. Then we have a male high white, and there you can see, because, well, head and then body, 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 so 2/3 of the body you still get white going on. But I will zoom out more. If I zoom in, then the quality actually is pretty bad. But look, here's a lot of white. Also really big patches of white all stuck together. So this, if it was a female, this would definitely be a keeper, but unfortunately it's a male. But it also has the exclamation mark. It's really a difficult word. Then we also have some pied Hypo Tesseras. So this is a male low white, basically almost no white. Then we have a female that's also low white. Even though they don't have a lot of white, they do look pretty cool, I think. They're really busy patterned, and And last one is a female medium white. So if you like Hypo and Tessera and you want more white in it, then definitely go for this one. So let's zoom out a bit again. If you want any of these, as always, I will keep reminding you they are on the morph list. And if you have any questions, just send a message. See you in the next one. Bye.